Yeah.
Jay and Jeremy, they'll be the two people that are going to be on there.
They better be. We have a phone number. You got to give out our phone number. Don't forget.
I haven't figured that out yet.
Oh,
so
I
if
thought
they
we had
want
a
to
phone
go,
number.
oh my God, would you shut up? If they want to get on, they can just type to us they want to go on, and I will send them a link where they can get on.
Okay. All right. So great.
That's how we'll do that.
Okay. So type to us if you want to talk to us.
Yes.
Fine.
Let me go on this thing to see if we're on, because I don't know. Oh, it looks like we're live. Yeah, there you go. We're ready to go.
All right. So you want to talk about American Idol? Because we've been talking about Claudia Conway, and that was the whole thing, that she was going to be, they promoted that she was going to be on American Idol. I got to tell you, she wasn't on until the very end. I'd forgotten about her. I got so involved with American Idol this season, and I'd gotten off it a while back. Like, I stopped watching, but they were smart. They got Conway's daughter, Kellyanne Conway's daughter, and it got me interested. And then I got involved with the show. I'm a sucker. I am. If they had a pyramid scheme, I'd be all over it. Like, I'm uncle, just give it to me. Like, whatever you're doing, ABC, I'm the sucker for anything you have going on there, except Bachelor. I'm over the Bachelor.
So you actually went and watched it. Did you watch it live?
I was going to watch it live, but I forgot. No, I saw that it might be on. I was like, I'll watch it. So listen, I don't watch anything live. Let's face it. I don't really have live television. I have apps. So I went to the ABC app the next day, this morning, and I watched it. They had it there. And I watch everything on an app anyway. So I don't like live stuff anymore, except for this.
All right. So what did I miss?
So here's what was interesting about it. They did a really whole thing about Kellyanne Conway and her daughter and blah, blah, blah. And here's what I thought was interesting. They had a lot of very young kids, which I loved, because if you watched American Idol from season 1, this was season 19 this week. If you've been watching it all these years, you're like, there's no more singers. They're all gone. Like, everybody that can sing in this country has already auditioned for American Idol and either got through or got rejected. But they're smart because they made the age much younger a few years back. So now you have kids as young as 15 and 16 years old auditioning. So here's what you need to know about American Idol. So you're home and you're like, me. I can sing. I should go audition. No. Unless you are amazing, don't waste your time. They had a lot of kids that were like cute and they can sing and they probably were the best singer in their high school, but they don't belong on American Idol. So I'm just going to play for you the people that really blew me away. Like, they were super young and super amazing. So there was this kid. His name was, wait, let me get my list here. Oh, Benson Boone. Okay. He was one of the first. Benson Boone, 18 years old. He's from a small town in Washington State. He's kind of known on TikTok. He discovered just last year that he can sing. He had never sang in his life. A friend of his was like, let's start a band. You should sing. And now he's on American Idol, and they're already like, this kid could win.
It actually burns calories, usually in the form of carbs in the bloodstream that are then replaced with the very next meal that you eat.
I don't know what that is.
I know you got a million things going on there.
I don't know what. I don't.
You watching porn? You got porn on in the background there?
And I don't know what that was. It probably was.
Okay, well, just try to keep the porn to a minimum, right. And just
now I have to stop that, and I have to go load it again because it crashed.
Of course, naturally. So here's what's really interesting. You got to see, so the most of the singers that were on American Idol this season are between the ages of 16 and 20. Like, nobody's over 20 years old, and I love the fact that they have these kids that just have natural talent. Because at that age, it's not like you didn't have a whole career and then you show up on American Idol. You're 16 years old. You were basically in high school. People realized you can sing, so they stuck you on a stage, and now you're like, heck, I'll audition for this.
Somebody said at some point, you need to be on American Idol.
Of course.
And they said, oh, yeah, that will be my new thing. So here's the first guy. What's his name?
Benson Boone. He's 18 years old. Excuse me. Just realized he can sing.
I stand alone. You know all the words, but don't sing alone.
Amazing, right?
No.
Every single eye has been watching me.
Listen.
And they don't see that I am just another. It's trying to find a way to hold on to your loving.
He's so cute.
Nah, okay. Next.
You say no to him?
I say no to him. I don't like him.
All right, well.
We already have a Jason Mraz. We don't need another one.
I don't know. I think he's more than Jason Mraz. I think he's got potential to be like, he's like sort of like Ed Sheeran. But
we
cute.
got one of those.
It's like but he's like a handsome Ed Sheeran. We don't have a handsome Ed Sheeran.
We don't have one of those.
No, we have an Ed Sheeran,
but we don't have a handsome one.
Right. So I don't know. They loved him, and of course, Katy Perry was like, "The girls are gonna swoon for Boone," because that's his last name. Yeah.
So that means she thought he was hot. That's why.
Yeah.
She said that.
But she was also married to Russell Brand, so I don't really know her taste in men being so good. Anyway, so the next girl I want to play for you. Listen to this. She's 17 years old. Get your mind around the fact that she is 17 years old. Okay. Her name is Nia Renee. She's from Little Rock, Arkansas. And she was so like sweet and unassuming. And they were like screwing around when she walked in. And she was just like, I'll wait. She was so sweet and so patient. This girl opened up her mouth. I thought Lionel Richie was going to turn into a puddle. I mean, I thought he was just going to like explode right there. She may be not only one of the best singers they've ever had in American Idol. Like, there's no 17-year-old that sings like this. Is what Aretha Franklin was like when she was 17. Listen to this. I thought you were my man. 17, Anthony. But I found out I'm just a link in your chain.
Yes, you are.
Oh, you got me where you want me. I ain't nothing.
Okay, she's good.
She's just getting started. Wait till she really hits the notes. I mean, where do you get passion like that at 17? Don't sing with her.
I liked it better when they didn't have a piano. It was just a cappella.
Yeah. I think that got old really quickly.
Okay, she's good.
Okay, she's amazing. Come on. That's pretty great. 17 years old. I mean, when I was 17, look at the way she's dressed. She's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I love her. I never vote in American Idol, but I might actually vote for her because she's so.
This might be the first. It might be your Kelly Clarkson, because that's the only time I voted is when Kelly Clarkson was on.
Oh, yeah. There was another girl that I'm not going to play for you just because it's just too many. There was a girl that I don't know if you remember years ago, there was a dude on the show who had Tourette's, and he ended up going through, I think he was like in the final 10 or whatever. So she was really inspired by him because she had Tourette's. So she came on and she sang, and she's another one of these girls that was just like, her voice was perfect and interesting, and she was really great. Then there was this girl who walks in. She's the last one of the night. Her name is Grace Kinsler. Okay, she's just turned 20, like the day before she auditioned. She's from Chicago. Her dad just died. She was like, her dad's the only person that supported her singing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she wasn't going to do it. And she's like, you know what? I have to. I got to do it for him. And she comes on. Wait till you hear this girl. She's like 20 years old.
Before the day I met you.
Oh, what happened?
Commercial,
there?
boo,
oh, boo, commercial.
Oh, duh. We don't want. Nah, we.
Get back to Grace Kinsler.
You're the key to my peace of mind. You make me feel.
He's crying.
You make me feel.
How old is she?
She just turned 20, like literally the day before this.
Oh, baby,
Isn't she beautiful?
Okay, she's good.
Yeah, she's really good. And it's interesting because so Luke Bryan starts crying and he actually said, I've been doing the show for 4 years. And usually when I cry, it's because like the stories that people tell make me cry. I have never ever cried at somebody singing. And she starts singing and she really gets into this song. And he starts bawling his eyes out. He's like, I've never been so moved. He was really into it. So yeah, that was pretty amazing. So the reason I wanted to play you this 18-year-old and 17-year-old and 19, just 20-year-old is because I want to show you what an American Idol is, okay? And what it is not. Here's Claudia Conway, okay? 16 years old. She's the daughter of George Conway and Kellyanne Conway, who was the spokesperson for Trump for 4 years. So here's the thing. She gets on, she starts singing Rihanna's Love on the Brain, and it is not good. So Katy Perry stops her and says, okay, take your shoes off. You're obviously uncomfortable. I want you to calm yourself, focus, get rid of all the distractions, all that outside stuff, and just find a song and sing it for us. So she chooses this Adele song. Okay. So
because that's the song, that's the person you try to be like. So that you pull out the Adele song.
Right. So tell me what you think of her.
I've been by myself all night long.
Ooh, she makes bad faces.
Yeah.
I used to know. Oh, you look like a movie. You sound like a song. My God, this reminds me.
I told you last week she's not an American Idol.
No, she isn't. She's still not. I mean, she's like your friend who can sing, right?
She's that girl that you went out with that started singing in your car.
Right. And you're like, you know what? Not bad, but maybe not so much over the radio. Maybe
Yeah.
keep it down, girl. Yeah.
I'm listening to Adele. No,
Right.
stop.
Don't sing along with Adele, please.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's not American Idol.
Okay, so what do you think happened next?
I said this before she even came on the screen. I said she's good because we heard something she did years ago.
Right.
So she's good, but she's not great.
She's good, but she's not American Idol.
Right. Go back home, come back next year when you sing a little bit more, and then maybe you can go through, but not this year.
And that's exactly what Luke Bryan said, almost verbatim what he said. He's like, girl, you're just not ready. You got the potential. You're really young. You're 16. You sound 16, which is a weird thing to say because I just played you a girl who was 17 that just blew everybody out of the water. So either you got it or you don't. Katy Perry said, I think once you're there with all the other singers and you've been able to relax and get all the noise out of the way, I think you'll be much better. I say yes. So now it's okay. So Luke says no. Katie says yes. You need 2 votes to get in. Now it's up to Lionel. Pressure's on Lionel.
Right.
And you got George Conway is standing outside. He's literally, you could see him. He's standing there waiting to come running in and get his daughter. And Kellyanne Conway, just look, even though she's no longer working for the president, she's still got power. You know what I mean? So he's not dumb, that Lionel Richie. He was like, you know what? I'm with Katie. I think we give you a chance. I say yes.
Because of ratings, because he heard the producer in his ear saying, put her through. We need the ratings.
Right. So, of course, every article today, especially like Variety, had this big giant article like how American Idol used what's her name? Carolyn?
Conway.
Claudia Conway. Yeah. How American Idol used Claudia Conway.
Yeah.
And I agree. Yeah.
And that's why she's there. She's there for ratings.
Yeah, I mean they have a lot of very interesting singers who have their own stories, but there's always somebody that comes in that's sort of like famous in some way or infamous. She's it this year, so I don't think she's going to get past Hollywood. I think she'll do Hollywood, and then that'll be the end of her. She won't stick with it, and America's not going to vote for her.
So if we rewind till last week when I said she might go through, but she won't make it past Hollywood week,
right?
So I was right.
Or she might make it past Hollywood week, but by the time that's the tough thing, because by the time America votes, remember, she's very anti-Trump, so they're not going to vote for her, right? Because remember, like the whole thing with Dancing with the Stars, they all voted for the
Spicer.
Sean Spicer. Yeah. So Spicer ended up staying with it. He was like down to the very last. He was like, it was like him and one other person. It was like, he almost won Dancing with the Stars. And it's because a lot of Republicans and a lot of Trump supporters came out and they supported him. They voted for him.
Well, that was kind of like a goof, though, to put him through.
Yeah, no, it's true. No, he's got a good sense of humor, and he made fun of himself, and he wore those crazy outfits, and it was really, he was good television. It was fun watching him. But I don't think she's going to share. Remember, she's very anti-Trump, even though her mother worked for Trump. She's anti-Trump, so I don't think that she's getting the Trump voters. So that's going to be a toughie.
She'll still get them because her mom had something to do with Trump. So
yeah, so we'll see. I mean, if she gets to the voting part, we'll see what America thinks about her.
All right. So you are a vegetarian. You have not just a vegetarian, but you have a very strict diet.
Yeah. I've got celiac, so I have to eat a very sensible, strict diet because otherwise I get sick and I spend all day in the toilet. So yeah, in order to not do that, I'm on something called the low food map diet.
Okay. And that makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Every day. Okay.
Yeah, every day.
So if you were stuck on an island, let's say me, you, and Joe, we went out on a 3-hour tour.
Okay.
Then we were stuck on an island, and the only thing to eat on the island are rats and coconuts. That's it. And you're out of coconuts.
Oh.
Yeah. You've eaten all the coconuts, so the only thing you have left are rats and Joe and me.
Oh.
So that's
that's an option. Okay.
Are you breaking your vegetarianism for survival?
Joe and I are going to eat you. I'm just telling you that right now.
Okay, but I'm cooking up tasty rat parfait or whatever. I caught a bunch of rats. I'm cooking them up. Are you going to eat one?
You know, it's hard to say because here I am in my apartment. I just went food shopping and got tons of food here. I don't need to worry about rats. But if you're on an island and you're starving, you don't know what you'll eat. But see, here's the thing. I'm very industrious. I feel like in order to not eat a rat, I would probably jump in the water and start catching fish. Like I'll eat a fish before I'll eat a rat. So I would go
but
get
you really
some fish.
don't have fish around. You see that all the time on Naked and Afraid. They jump into water. They can't find a fish. The fish stay away from that part of the island. So really the only thing you have is me and rats at this point.
I would take the rat entrails and use that to catch fish. I would put that on a line of some kind or a string of some kind and use that to catch fish.
Okay, 3 people were on this island for 33 days. Whoa. And the only thing they had were rats, coconuts, and each other.
Oh my God. Did they eat each other?
They didn't eat each other, but they did eat the rats.
Ugh.
And Tuesday, the trio was airlifted off the island and taken to Key West. No injuries, but they were really hungry because they've been eating rats. So
okay, first of all, how do you get stranded on an island in
3-hour
2021?
tour.
No, seriously. You don't have a phone? There's islands that are uninhabitable. Like there's islands that we don't know about now. It's 2021. There's got to be islands out there that are, you just walk a little bit and you find a McDonald's. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. How do you get stranded?
And that's kind of true because this was the Bahamas. They're near the Bahamas. So I don't think there's many islands that have nobody on them in the Bahamas.
It's just laziness. You just hike a little bit and go find yourself, the local hut.
Sandals.
Yeah, go find the sandals. It's probably just 2 miles.
But yeah, they found some island that nobody really knew about, and they were stuck on it, and they had to eat rats. So I just wondered at what point is it? Oh God, I mean, with you,
right?
It could be hour 5.
Well, that's true. I know I eat a lot. I have to eat every couple of hours. I don't know. I mean, I'd probably eat all the coconuts. I make a deal with you. Give me the coconuts. You have the rats.
But there's not that many coconuts. I don't think you can live off coconuts for, I mean, you couldn't go a week with just coconuts only.
I guess if I had
You're going to be chewing on a rat at some point.
I don't know. I'd eat you sooner than I would eat a rat.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, that is
saying.
funny because you can't go 3 hours without eating, let alone 3 days.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you and I picture that all the pictures I have of us on the air, I always have food in my mouth or around me or near me or in my hand. Yeah, I'm a big eater.
Yeah, for this show here, I'm surprised you're not eating.
I just did. Literally just ate. When you were like, okay, we're live, I was like, okay, I'll put my food down.
So
Yeah,
you can probably go an hour. But these people went 33 days
Yeah, no, I just
on a
I definitely
desert
couldn't do it.
island in the Bahamas, which I didn't think it existed.
It doesn't. They're just lazy. Like I said, they literally just hike somewhere you would have found more stuff.
Oh, well, the
Berries.
problem was weather delayed the rescue by a day. So they found them. They couldn't get in there to rescue them. So the crew dropped food and water and a radio.
Oh, well,
to
they
'em.
could listen to the Cooper and Anthony show. Well, that's important. I don't know how they went 33 days without that.
Right. And then they probably went there and said, all these damn commercials. What's wrong with terrestrial radio? It's nonstop commercials, and it's really bad morning shows. Yeah, so they dropped all that for them, and then they picked them up a day later.
But see, you make fun of me because I don't take vacations. This is exactly why. You know what? If you don't leave your house, you know what can never happen to you? Getting stranded on a desert island. That's never going to happen to you. Like, just, I don't know why people go on vacation. Like, what's the point of vacation? You don't like your life? You want to get away from it? I love my life. I love my city. I love where I live. I love my bed.
You have to get out at some point.
No, you don't. I'm not going to
Yeah,
go
you
sleep in a
do.
bed that has semen in it. Don't you see those things, those commercials and those
Your
shows where
bed
they
has semen in it.
Well, it's my boyfriend's semen. I know where the semen came from. It's not strangers' semen. Haven't you ever seen those like black light things that they do when they go to hotel rooms and stuff like on 2020, and they show you like there's this, I don't know, there's like saliva here and there's fluids here and blood there and poop there. Why would you want to travel? Why do you want to stay in a room that somebody else just had sex? I don't get it.
Don't think about it. That's how I always got around hotel rooms, is you don't think about it. If you think about it, you'll never stay in a hotel.
Well, I think about it, which is why I don't travel.
The only hotel, I've stayed in tons of hotels, and the only hotel I felt really good in was the Vanderbilt in Nashville. Other than that, they're all crap.
Right.
They all have semen on the walls.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So why would you go there? Is that a
Because you
vacation
have
to
to stay somewhere.
I don't sleep well when I'm at another person's apartment. Like before, I was whoring around back in the day, I never slept over his house. I always made him sleep at mine because I couldn't sleep in a stranger's bed. So I'm not going to forego a good night's sleep, especially on a vacation. Sorry, not going anywhere.
I don't know. When we first moved to Long Island, we had to stay in hotels.
Oh, that was the worst.
The last hotel we stayed in, that had semen.
Oh, that was awful. That was tough. That was tough.
Even the first one, the Days Inn or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had problems also.
Yeah. But see, that's why I brought my own sheets and pillowcases, because at least I know where they've been.
Yeah, but you're still walking on the floor. You're still walking on the bathroom floor.
Oh, it was so gross. Look, we had no.
It was like a week long. We had to stay there.
It was
and
bad.
then the whole time there's people outside at 10 o'clock at night making noise, and we have to get up for a morning show is a nightmare.
That was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had to do that for work. There's no other scenario that I would ever stay in a hotel, except for if I have to work. Well, I did, like every time when I was doing the syndicated show with you and you were in North Carolina and I was in New York, every time I came down to North Carolina, I stayed in a hotel.
You stayed in South Park, though. You stayed in a 4-star hotel. Don't give me that.
Yeah,
your hotel room had a kitchen.
Yes, it did.
I don't want to hear that.
It was
That was the
beautiful.
nicest room ever.
Yeah.
So,
And remember when I stayed in that, I got that woman who had all the apartments to let me stay in one of those duplexes.
right. You had it
Yeah.
really bad. You had it so bad. But that last hotel we stayed in, we were minutes away from eating rats.
Oh, yeah. That was really skanky. That was really
that-
skanky. That was when, I was like, I'll eat anything. You're like, this is Dairy Queen there. I was like, great, let's go to Dairy Queen. Like literally anything, but whatever's happening happening right here in this hotel.
The heater that was in the hotel at 3 a.m, it would go.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
It would not stop. It's like, oh, this place is so bad.
All right. It was like, welcome to your new job.
We should have just turned it around right then.
I know. Yeah, you're right. We should have, but we're suckers for punishment. All right. So let me ask you a question. How long should people be dating before they move in together?
I think you could. Are we signing leases?
Let's say one person moves into the other's house. Like one person already has a house or an apartment or something that they own, and the other person moves in.
A month.
A month?
A month. If you're into each other, a month, because that way you're going to get to know them pretty quickly.
So you would get rid of your house, pack up all your things, and move into the house of a woman you've known for 1 month. You would do that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be serious, if it's in the back of your head that this is it, this is the one, maybe this could be the one. Yeah. Get it out of the way, because you're going to know within the first 3 days if it's going to work.
Wow.
I say you keep your house just for the first month. If you can last past that first 3-4 days. Yeah.
Right.
But moving in with somebody, that tells you a hell of a lot more than going out to a movie and then dinner that you'll ever find out about them.
Well, I'm asking you because we found out today that Olivia Wilde packed up all her stuff, officially left Jason Sudeikis, and moved in with Harry Styles.
So they are serious.
Moved into Harry Styles' house. Moved into his house. She's got 2 kids. She's got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old that I think are living with Jason for the most part. She's been off making this movie with Harry Styles. She just wrapped it over the weekend. And let me say something. I've been doing extra work, and I've been afraid to go do like just extra work because I feel like the COVID thing, they don't fully have that under control. They say they do, and I'm never quite convinced, So Olivia Wilde wraps this movie, and part of their whole COVID protocol is everybody wears a mask, you stay 6 feet, you get tested every 2 days. She's there during the wrap, like hugging people. You're not supposed to hug anybody, like no touching. You're not allowed to touch. She's hugging people. She's kissing them. She's all over. But like everybody, she's like going down the list. She's like, oh, there's my assistant director. Oh, there's our lovely people who did the makeup and the hair. I mean, girl, I know you appreciate them, and I know that you're happy that the movie's over, but I mean, it's still a pandemic. And you're going to go move in with Harry Styles. We got to protect the Harry Styles from the COVID.
Right. But I'm thinking, as far as he's concerned, Olivia Wilde wants to move in with you. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
And you would move in a month with Harry Styles. No problem.
Why would I wait a month?
Exactly. So he's going, yeah, bonus. And I think he's really into her.
Yeah, he's really into her. And I think there was some story, either he had said it or a friend of his had reported to the tabloids. He always had a crush on her, like the rest of us, like the rest of the guys I know, when they saw her in house. So he apparently has always had a crush on her, always. So, and now he gets to date her. So I guess, I mean, look, they say don't meet your heroes, but I guess he's dating her and it's going well because they've only been together a couple of months, but they did do a movie together. And if you've ever been on the set with somebody, it's like dog years. It's like 1 week is like 7 months. So even though they've only known each other a short period of time, in La La Land, it's like years. I mean, they're together like years.
Well, and the thing is she is 13 from house. So you did see her all the time in house. And B, she doesn't have a problem bringing a third into the bedroom.
In real life?
Yeah. What?
That was her character. I don't think that's her.
No, that's in my head that she's into chicks too. So don't take that away from me.
Oh, no, that was 13. 13 was into chicks. She's Olivia Wilde. I don't think she's into chicks. Maybe she is. I don't really know anything about her sex life, but as far as I know, she's.
Give me the fantasy that she tells him, yeah, you can keep Tinder. Just, can you imagine being that Twitter girl, a Tinder girl, showing up at the house? Harry Styles opens the door with Olivia Wilde. Hold on, I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket. I'll be right back.
And then can I call my ex, all my exes, and be like,
And
call them on
TMZ.
FaceTime, be like, you're never going to believe where I am. Yeah, totally. Speaking of dating and Tinder and all that, you haven't been in the dating world for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of new dating terms that let's do a little quiz. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the dating term and you tell me what you think it means, what you think it is. Okay. So you've heard of ghosting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So ghosting is when you start dating somebody and then you decide you don't like them. So you just completely blow them off. You don't break up with them. You just ghost them. You're just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a term called soft ghosting. Do you know what that is?
Soft ghosting. Let's say you contact them, but you never see them again.
No. No, that's ghosting.
No, you talk to them, but you don't see them.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, right, you keep texting or messaging them, but you don't actually make plans to see them.
Right. You saw them once and you keep them around to get those nudie pictures every now and then.
Right. No. So soft ghosting is when you like one of their pictures on Instagram, or maybe you like a text, but you don't actually reply. You don't leave messages. You don't DM. You're just sort of like, you're there, but you don't contact them.
Nice. So they just get a thumbs up every now and then on Facebook.
Yeah, they'll be on Instagram. They'll be like, wait, he just liked my picture, yet I haven't heard from him in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's weird.
It's weird. I think it's really weird. Do you know what it means to be corona zoned?
That you can't come over, you can't hang out because you're afraid of getting sick.
Exactly. Yep.
Good.
You have the relationship, but no physical part. So you stay in touch, you do Zoom, you do FaceTime, but you don't actually get together. So you've been corona zoned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is lock blocking?
That's what you've done to me my whole life. That's when you and I would go out to a nightclub and you would stand next to me. That's exactly what that is.
No, that's another type of blocking. No, lock blocking is when every time, so if you live in a city where there's lockdown rules and you keep canceling dates because you're like, oh, sorry, lockdown, love to have lunch with you, but lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
That's called lock blocking. There's something else called zumping. Do you know what zumping is?
No, I don't even know where to begin with that. I'm thinking that's a sexual term, I hope.
It sounds like it should be like, oh, she zumped me last night, or that dog is zumping my leg. No. Okay, think about what is something that we're doing, maybe even right now, something new in our culture that starts with a Z.
Zooming.
Exactly. So if you take zooming and dumping, zumping is somebody who breaks up with you over Zoom.
Oh, so you ask them to get online and talk to you, and then you say, hey, by the way,
yep,
see ya, and then they hang up?
Yep, exactly. You're just like, hi, sorry, I know it's not going to work out. Okay, thank you, bye. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You want another one?
Yes, I want a million of them.
Okay, good. Do you know what woke fishing is?
Woke fishing.
Yeah. Think about it.
Woke means you can't get anything past me.
What? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Woke? No.
I'm woke. You can't get that past me. I'm smart.
Do you not know what woke? Okay, so woke is a guy who is like into, I don't know, like a guy that says he's a feminist, or he goes to Black Lives Matter protests, or he's pro LGBTQ. Like being woke means, like being hip. Exactly. Being woke means like you're hip, but you're hip to like, I don't know, like social
2021
activism types of things. Like you're woke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So woke fishing is when a guy pretends to be woke, but he really isn't. He doesn't practice what he preaches. So he will start, like he'll go on Bumble and he'll see a girl that be like, only men who are into BLM. And he'll be like, yeah, swipe. And then he'll be talking to her about, like, I don't know, some protest he went to, or some, pro-feminist thing, or some like anti-patriarchy kind of thing. But he doesn't really practice what he preaches. He's just trying to get in her pants.
So it's kind of like, I'm cool with your gay best friend, but when it comes down to it, I'm not cool with your gay best friend.
Exactly. Do you know what roaching is? Roaching is a new dating term.
That's what guys call when they went out with you. Are you dating Cooper tonight? Yes, you're roaching. That means you're dating a roach.
It's so funny you would say that, because have you noticed, you watch American Pickers like I do, right?
Right.
So on American Pickers, whenever whenever Mike comes up with something that is just like old and gross, he's like, I was going to buy it, but it was like totally roached out.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought like roached out, like that's interesting. I like that term, but that's not what roaching is. Roaching is what happens when the person you've been seeing is hiding the fact that they've been dating other people. So the name roaching comes from the theory that whenever you see one cockroach, there's probably a lot more that you're not seeing.
I thought it was when you turn on the lights. Once you wake up in the morning, you run.
That's good. That's what roaching should be. Like, exactly. Like, you brought a guy home, you've had sex with him, and then in the morning, the sun comes up and he's gone. The roach.
Because the light came on.
The light came up, the sun came up, he's gone. Yeah, that does make more sense. What is getting love bombed? That's a biggie. I've heard that one a lot. Love bombed.
Love bombed.
Yeah.
No clue.
Okay, so love bombed, it's a lot like ghosting, but the person buys you gifts and compliments you and calls you just to say hello, or, hey, I was thinking about you, or flowers show up at work, and then suddenly nothing. Like, ghosting is like when you're just dating somebody and they just don't like you anymore. They just blow you off and with no explanation. Love bombing is when you really you pour it on, you're like, wow, this guy's really into me, and then gone, nothing.
Well, when you're dating a bunch of people at once, you always have that one that if she became really into you, you're dropping everybody else.
Right.
So that's what happened with that.
Yeah, but why would you bombard somebody with flowers and texts and sending them like, oh, here's your favorite pizza. I knew you were hungry tonight after work.
It's a game.
Oh.
It's all it is a game. We're playing a game to keep you around.
It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort to blow somebody off.
Yeah, but we're keeping you in runner-up category.
Okay,
we don't want to lose you. So.
Speaking of that, do you know the term benching? There's another dating term for you.
Yeah, when I've been dating you for a while and I'm putting you on the bench.
Right. Because exactly what you just said, that you're dating somebody, you like her, but you're waiting for the better girl to come along. So you bench the one girl hoping that your star player will show up.
Right. You're gonna have to pitch hit at some point. So you're gonna get that text at 3 a.m.
Right.
Hey, are you awake? So
exactly.
Yeah, if you're getting the text at 3 a.m.
you're on the
and
bench.
not at 3 p.m.,
yes.
you're on the bench.
You're on the bench. Yeah, 100%. Now, here's another one. Now, it's funny because I had this friend. So when I was in my 20s and dating, I had this friend that I could not believe. I set her up with a guy friend of mine, and he's like, that was the worst date I've ever been on. I'm like, why was it so bad? He's like, it felt like a job interview. It wasn't like a natural conversation. It wasn't just like two people hanging out and let's have a good time. She was like, well, what are your plans for the future? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Why do you want to work at this company? There was a lot of weird questions. She just was very serious. And I never set her up again after that. Well, now there's a term for it. It's called a daterview. Okay. When somebody is like, yeah.
Interviewed.
Exactly. It's more like a job interview than flirting. When was your last relationship? Do you want kids? What's your opinion on moving to the East Coast and living in a restored farmhouse? That kind of stuff.
I think I would rather have a date with somebody like that than somebody that just sits there. I mean, you got to realize what kind of business that the person that you're dating is in. Let's say you're dating somebody who's in HR. She's going to ask you those questions. If you're going to date you or I, we're going to ask you questions nonstop because we're interviewing you.
But there shouldn't be an interview. You shouldn't know those things about your first date, like I think your first 3 to 10 dates should just be having
10
fun.
dates. No, you got to learn, and you don't want awkward silence.
No, but you just want to have fun with the person. Like, ask them about, I don't know, just see the story about the Gorilla Glue girl and her hair. Like, what do you think of that? Like, there's so many things you can talk about without being like, where did you go to college? What was your GPA? What are your plans for the future? Do you want children? Like, that's just not fun. It's like, it's too serious. And it says, I want to get married on Saturday.
Yeah, but I think that's them learning everything they can about you. I'm into that. So
that's interesting. All right. Because I feel like, all right.
I'll take the interview.
Okay, that's interesting. I feel like, I remember I had this one girlfriend that when David's Bridal had their wedding dress sale, they do this big thing every year that brides fly in from all over the country because they sell like the high-end, top-end wedding dresses for like $100 each.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a girlfriend that like she came in from Miami for a dress. And I was like, oh my God, you're engaged? She's like, no. Like, you're not engaged? No. Well, does your boyfriend know you're coming to buy? I don't have a boyfriend. Wait, you're single and you're flying to New York to buy a wedding dress? I just, maybe you want to have the guy first and then maybe but what if the guy doesn't want a wedding and now you've got this wedding dress? It sounds so stupid.
Yeah. When he goes through your closet and sees a wedding dress, he's going to run.
That should not be there. Here's the last one. You want one more?
Yes.
Okay. What does the dating term orbiting mean?
That's when you're kind of dating a bunch of people, but you're just kind of looking and seeing what's going on before you scoop in.
That does sound like what it should mean. Here's what it means. Okay. If you ever had a relationship fizzle out, but then you keep realizing the person constantly watches your Instagram stories and likes your post on Twitter or wherever, you're being orbited. Orbit is a trick some people use to let a former fling know that they're still interested-ish.
That's called stalking. And that's called being very creepy. Yeah, that kind of scares me.
It's weird because I have an old boyfriend that's kind of orbiting me now, which is weird. I keep hearing from him. He compliments me a lot. He's always looking at my pictures. He's like, wow, you look so hot, or wow, you haven't changed a bit, or he'll send me a message and ask me some questions or just tell me about his life or whatever. And we start, we message back and forth because we're still friends, of course. We've been friends the whole time. But suddenly he's seeming like, he might be interested, but he hasn't actually made plans with me. He hasn't asked if I'm in a relationship or not. He's got no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, he likes to flirt with me on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't think that's cool. I think that you should not do that with somebody that used to date.
Yeah, it's weird because, I'm friends with so many of my exes.
Yeah, if you've slept with them, then I don't think you should speak to them.
Why?
Because you've already slept with them.
But
you can sleep with them again.
But I'm not trying to sleep with them again.
But they're trying to sleep with you again.
I don't think so.
Every guy is. If he's talking to you, he's trying to get with you.
Don't you think that there's some guys out there, like, they like the conquest, they've slept with you, that's over, now they actually probably think you're a cool chick and they just want to be your friend? Isn't that a possibility?
No, they want to remember why, if it was in their head, it was good, so they want to see if it's still good.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, you're not a guy, so you can't fight with me on this.
All right, fine. Okay. All right.
When you were in the dating mode, and let's go back to high school.
Okay.
Did you get busy in cars?
Yeah, I guess in high school you kind of had to. You had to go wherever, you couldn't bring somebody back to your house because your parents were there.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if your parents were out for the night, maybe they can sneak in. But, it's funny. None of my friends had cars. Remember, I grew up in New York, so nobody really had cars. Right. So we had I remember there was this one elementary school right near my house, and there was this big tree under by the elementary school. And my boyfriend at the time, we would meet at that tree and we would hook up at the tree. That was our thing. I'll meet you
at the
there.
Tree at 8 p.m.
Right. That kind of thing. Yeah, because nobody had cars. First of all, nobody had money where I grew up. So even if you had your parents' car, were you going to hook up in your parents' car? No.
Hey, you had to.
No, you had to go to a friend's house who maybe their parents were away for the weekend. That's why like your parents would go away for the weekend and all your friends would come over with their significant others or their couples. There'd be tons of couples making out all over your house.
I think if I didn't have a car, I would have never got any.
Really?
Yeah, it was always in a car. Always. And it was every car. So nonstop. But right now, Champlain, Minnesota is having a problem they've actually had to ask residents to stop having sex in busy parking lots. Which is crazy because right now in Champlain, Minnesota, it's like 14 degrees below zero.
I know. Why would you want to be outside? So these aren't adults. You're talking about kids because adults have
They're talking
houses,
about
right?
everybody. They're talking about police have to go up to cars at noon at an auto body parking lot and knock on the window and say, stop it. So they don't want you to go. They're asking people now so they sent out this message. We would like to pass along a friendly reminder to everybody looking to be with their sweetheart this Valentine's Day. So I guess it was before yesterday.
Right.
Stop going to busy parking lots during normal business hours.
Oh my God. They're having a problem with that's crazy. They're having a problem with it.
That they had to come out with a cartoon on social media of don't get busy in cars.
But I don't understand. Why don't people go to their houses? I don't get it. Why do you have to get busy in a car?
You can't go to the house. The wife is there.
Oh, you're saying people who are having affairs.
Yeah. You can't go to the house, and you can't go to her house because her husband's there.
Why don't you get a hotel room? There's cheap hotels in every city in the country.
I don't know. Would you rather get busy in a car or a hotel room?
Hotel room. It's warm. I have a shower.
Yeah. I don't know. It's easy just to do it in the car.
It's funny.
So.
I gotta tell you, in my life, I can't even think of any time I think I probably like kissed a guy in a car, like on a date at the end of the date, maybe like leaned over and kissed him. But I've never had sex in a car. Never. And you know me, I've had sex everywhere, but never in a car because I don't know people that have cars.
Really?
Yeah.
I got busted in a car by a cop.
Of course you did.
I did. I had to knock on the window from the cop with the flashlight.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. And he said, you can't do this here. You have to go somewhere else. And I said, where am I supposed to go?
And then he saw what you were packing. He was like, oh, sorry, that can't hurt anybody.
Yeah, he took my girlfriend to the side and apologized to her. And asked her for her phone number. But yeah, a cop knocked on my window and said, you got to stop it.
We did a lot of sneaking into houses. Like we snuck into basements. We snuck into rooms. I had a ladder out my window. And then, like New York City and Brooklyn, there's always a basement. That's the thing about living in like the area of Brooklyn I lived in. There's always a basement entrance. So there's a front entrance that the family and the mailman and everybody else comes into. But there's always like a basement, like a downstairs basement entrance. And then I also had, like I said, when we moved, the next house, I had a ladder, like a fire escape outside my window. Really easy to climb up and sneak boys in. I did it all the time.
So you snuck boys in. Did you sneak out?
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah, I snuck into their houses. They snuck into my house. I snuck into their house. Nothing was stopping us except, like I said, nobody had cars. So
your mom never heard you?
She caught me once.
Did she really?
Yeah. She caught me once and she goes, why did Michael have his pants down? I was like, really? Really? Why?
We ate a big dinner and he needed to let his gut out. And that's why he took his front
That's your question.
button off.
You find your 16-year-old daughter with her boyfriend and he's got his pants off and you want to know why? Really? You weren't 16 once?
Yeah. My parents caught me coming home at 8 a.m. from being at my girlfriend's house all night. And they wanted to talk to the girlfriend's mom.
Oh, God.
and get it all out on the open. So I had my girlfriend's mom call my mom. It was actually her older sister.
That's great.
That didn't turn out well. Mom didn't fall for it.
Oh, she didn't?
No, they were really, really mad. But I'm like, sorry.
You know, your problem is you were one of those like long-haired musician type guys. So you couldn't get away with what I got away with. So I used to do the same thing. I'd go to my boyfriend's and I'd stay over till like 5, 6 in the morning, except I was smart. I kept running shorts and sneakers in my garage. And I would go home and I'd put them on and I'd walk in, just boldly walk in like I was out running. Oh God, I can use some water. Hey mom, what's up? I gotta go shower. And she was like, and so because I just heard her recently she said to somebody, I don't know, she used to be a runner. She's into her bike now, but she doesn't really run anymore. It's like I was never into running, trust me.
She would run every day. And it would be like 5 a.m. She would get up before school and run. It was crazy.
Every Sunday morning. It was like 6 a.m. There she was coming back from a run. It was amazing.
She still had a pooch for a stomach. I never understood.
No, I was lucky. I was an athletic girl and I was super skinny, so I got away with it.
Oh.
Yeah. So to this day, like I never told my mom, if she listens to this, she'll know, but I never, what's so funny about my mother? Like here I am all these years later, I'm telling you this, she'd be mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these years later, she'd be mad at me. She wouldn't laugh. She would be angry. She would be like, like, cause she couldn't punish me then. So she'd probably find a way to punish me now retroactively.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, my parents liked your little link that you put out that we are going to be on Twitch. And I went, oh, crap. I don't want them to listen.
Good, yeah.
I mean, if they're listening, they're going to learn all this. Mom, stop it. Mom, stop. Hit escape right now. You don't need to hear this.
That's good. That's funny.
Right.
So